Love isn't always about finding the perfect person. It's about seeing someone, flaws and all, and choosing to connect with them anyway. Sam Keen once said something along those lines, and it's stuck with me ever since. In today's video, we're diving into the subtle signs that a woman might be secretly attracted to you. These signals often hide in plain sight, and if you're not paying attention, you'll miss them. The truth is, women rarely walk up and say, "I like you," outright. Instead, they send signals through body language, small gestures, and deeper conversations. Now here's the kicker. If you learn to read these signs, you'll not only understand attraction better, but you'll also build stronger, more authentic connections. This isn't about playing games. It's about awareness, and awareness is something the Stoics mastered. So stick with me until the end. I'm going to walk you through 3 powerful signs of hidden attraction, backed by psychology and filtered through the calm, rational lens of Stoicism, setting the stage. Before we break these signs down, I want to share something personal. Over the years, I realized that attraction doesn't usually show up in big, flashy gestures. It's the little things, the way she holds your gaze, the way she finds small excuses to touch your arm, or the way she opens up about her life. Think about it. When was the last time you noticed a woman laughing just a little harder around you, or leaning in just a bit closer when you talked? At first, you might brush it off as nothing. But if you look deeper, those moments tell a bigger story. And as a modern Stoic, your job isn't to chase or overthink. Your job is to observe calmly, without letting emotions cloud your judgment. All right, let's break down the first sign. Sign number 1, the lingering gaze. Eye contact is one of the oldest, purest forms of communication we have as humans. Long before we had language, before we could put feelings into words, our eyes spoke for us. And they still do. That's why, when it comes to attraction, one of the clearest and most powerful indicators is something I call the lingering gaze. Here's what that means. If a woman holds eye contact with you just a little longer than what's considered normal, that's rarely an accident. Most people look away quickly, sometimes within a second or two. But if she doesn't look away, if her eyes stay with yours, she's not just looking at you. She's trying to connect with you. It's her way of silently saying, "I notice you, I see you, and I want you to see me too." That small pause in her gaze can hold more meaning than a dozen words. Science backs this up. Research in psychology shows that prolonged eye contact builds intimacy and closeness between two people. It even activates the same parts of the brain that are triggered during emotional bonding. And here's something fascinating. Our pupils naturally dilate when we feel attracted to someone. You can't control it, and you can't fake it. So when you notice her eyes holding yours, maybe even widening slightly, that's biology speaking louder than any script. Picture this. You're sitting at a cafe, talking casually. She locks eyes with you. Instead of glancing away instantly, her gaze lingers. Maybe there's a small smile forming on her lips, a soft tilt of the head, or her eyebrows raised just a touch as if to say, "I'm tuned into you right now." That moment, as small as it seems, is loaded with meaning. That's attraction revealing itself without a single word spoken. Now, the Stoic approach here is crucial. Don't let your emotions run wild. Don't get flustered or overthink the meaning. Instead, stay calm. Meet her gaze with steady confidence. Add a subtle smile to acknowledge the moment, and then simply carry on. Attraction is like a dance. It unfolds step by step. And sometimes, the most powerful moves are the ones that happen in complete silence. As Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When she holds your gaze, she's letting you glimpse her thoughts, her interest, her attention. One glance, held just a little too long, can speak volumes if you're wise enough to notice. Sign number 2, subtle touches. The second sign that a woman is secretly attracted to you is something most guys underestimate. Yet it's one of the most telling signals you can ever pick up on: touch. Now, touch can be so subtle that it almost looks accidental, which is why many men dismiss it without realizing what's really happening. But here's the truth. When a woman likes you, she will often find small excuses to close the physical gap between you. These touches aren't random. They're quiet invitations, little windows into her comfort and attraction. Think about it. Maybe she brushes your arm lightly while laughing at something you said. Maybe she gives you a playful tap on the shoulder during a joke, or she casually leans against you when you're walking side by side. It's not that she had to touch you. She chose to. It's her way of breaking that invisible barrier and saying, "I feel safe around you. I want to be a little closer." Why is this so powerful? Because touch is primal. It goes straight to the brain and triggers a release of oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone. Even a quick, light touch can spark a feeling of closeness and trust. That's why those moments matter so much more than we realize. They're not just physical, they're emotional cues. Picture this. You're telling her a story, and she bursts out laughing. Without even thinking, her hand reaches out and lands on your forearm for a second. She doesn't pull away immediately, either. It's quick, but meaningful. That moment tells you something her words might not. She's comfortable. She's interested. She's testing how it feels to be a little closer. Now, here's where the modern Stoic mindset comes into play. A Stoic man doesn't overreact. He doesn't blow the moment out of proportion or instantly assume it means she's head over heels in love. Instead, he observes calmly. He notices the touch, acknowledges it for what it is, and respects it. Attraction is built on trust and comfort, and if she's reaching out physically, it means she's lowering her guard with you. That is something you should treat with care. And think about the world we live in today. Most interactions happen through screens, through endless texting, likes, and emojis. Real physical connection has become rare. That's why, when she makes that move, you can't ignore it. A subtle touch is her way of reminding you, this is real. I feel something when I'm around you. So the next time you feel that playful nudge, that brush of her hand, or that slight lean toward you, don't dismiss it. Recognize it for what it is, a step toward intimacy. And hey, before we move on to the third and final sign, do me a quick favor. If you're enjoying this breakdown and want more insights into attraction, psychology, and the Stoic way of dating, subscribe to Stoic24 and hit the bell icon. That way, you'll never miss a video that can help you grow in confidence and connection. Sign number 3, emotional openness. This sign runs deeper than eye contact or a playful touch. Emotional openness is when a woman begins to let you into her inner world. It's not about small talk or surface-level conversation anymore. Instead, she starts sharing pieces of herself that she normally guards carefully. Her thoughts, her fears, her dreams, even her doubts. When this happens, you should understand one thing clearly. She trusts you. And trust is one of the strongest signals of attraction. By opening up, she's saying without words, I feel safe with you. I can be myself here. Now, why does this matter so much? Because most people, men and women alike, don't casually reveal their deeper feelings or vulnerabilities. It takes courage to expose those softer parts of ourselves. If she chooses to confide in you, it means you've crossed into a space most men don't get to reach. She isn't just passing time in conversation. She's inviting you into a bond that carries weight and meaning. Think about it. If she tells you about her past struggles, asks for your advice on something personal, or shares her long-term hopes for the future, that's not accidental. Those moments are her way of saying, I want you to understand me. I value your perspective. I trust you with the things I don't share easily. Psychology backs this up. Research shows that emotional self-disclosure is one of the fastest and strongest ways to build connection between two people. The more honestly someone opens up, the more secure and bonded they feel with the person listening. But here's where the Stoic mindset comes in. A Stoic man doesn't brush off her words, change the subject, or downplay what she's saying. He listens calmly. He doesn't judge. He doesn't try to control or exploit her vulnerability. Instead, he respects it, values it, and responds with steady presence. That is real strength. That is how trust grows. Aristotle once said, "Love is composed of a single soul inhabiting two bodies." Emotional openness is the doorway to that kind of connection. If you ignore it, you miss the very foundation of something meaningful. So when she opens up, don't just nod and move on. Ask thoughtful questions. Show her you care. Make her feel heard and understood. Because trust is the soil where real attraction grows. And if you nurture it, the bond between you can become something lasting and rare. Bringing it all together, let's step back and pull all of this together. Attraction can feel like a puzzle at times, but when you pay attention, the pieces fit in a way that makes sense. A woman who's secretly drawn to you isn't going to shout it from the rooftops. Instead, she leaves clues, small but powerful signals that speak louder than words if you know how to recognize them. First, her eyes. When she lingers on you just a little longer than what's normal, it's not random. That moment of extended eye contact is her way of reaching out without saying a single word. Then there are her touches, the light brush on your arm, the playful tap on your shoulder, or the way she leans in when she laughs. All of these are her way of closing the distance, of testing if you'll welcome that closeness too. And finally, emotional openness. When she begins to share her private thoughts, her struggles, or her dreams, she's giving you access to a part of herself she doesn't offer to just anyone. Alone, these gestures might seem like nothing more than quirks or habits. But together, they paint a very clear picture. They say, "I feel something for you. I trust you. I want you to see me." Now, here's where the modern Stoic mindset comes in. Your role as a man isn't to chase wildly or force something that isn't there. Your role is to remain calm, observant, and grounded. Recognize the signals without letting ego or anxiety take over. Respond with quiet confidence. Let the connection unfold in its own time. Attraction isn't about rushing. It's about presence, being aware enough to see what's in front of you and wise enough to respond with patience and respect. And never forget, attraction doesn't always scream. It whispers. It hides in subtle glances, in small touches, in quiet confessions. If you train yourself to see these details, you open the door to a whole new level of connection. So, the next time you're around a woman and notice her eyes holding yours just a second too long, or her hand brushing lightly against yours more than once, or her voice softening as she shares something vulnerable, don't brush it off. These are not coincidences. These are signs. Pay attention. And if you want to keep learning how to navigate attraction and relationships with wisdom, confidence, and Stoic calmness, subscribe to Stoic 24 and hit the bell icon. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below if you've ever noticed these subtle signals in your own life. I'd love to hear your stories and how you handled them. Until next time, stay grounded, stay observant, and I'll see you in the next video.